Welcome to Ask the Funeral Director with Mike Voyajakis. Brought to you by Voyage Funeral Home and Crematorium. Now, here's your host, Brad Wilder.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Funeral Director here on this Wednesday night with Mike Voyajakis. I'm your host, Brad Wilder. Great to be here tonight. We've got a lot to get to. We're going to talk a little bit about Toronto and the public health situation that's going on there. They began suspending more than 10,000 students behind on mandatory vaccinations. We'll talk about that. We've got some interesting crime things that have happened in the province that we'll get to tonight, plus a ton of questions that are all coming up right here on Ask the Funeral Director. We'll be back after this.
At the Cork and Flame, we're open for breakfast. Come in, relax, and enjoy before you start your day with amazing dishes, including skillet scrambles, omelets, poached eggs, French toast, pancakes, and more. The Cork and Flame Breakfast Special gets you in and out in a hurry with 2 eggs any style, hash browns, and your choice of bacon, sausage, or ham, plus toast, pancakes, or French toast, all for just $10. The Cork and Flame, not just for special occasions, but rather amazing eats. We hope to see you soon.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Mike, it's another Wednesday night, and it's time to, get into Ask the Funeral Director.
Another edition of Ask the Funeral Director.
You didn't do the big one. Do the big one.
Mom. You know what? Great weekend this weekend.
What'd you do?
I got a chance to take away with Sharon and Josh, and we went out to the lake, and I didn't leave the cabin. Just stayed in the cabin for like 2 days and hung out with my family, and it was fun hanging out with Sharon and Josh for 2 whole days away from the Cork and Flame and all kinds of things like that. Good evening and welcome to the show. We like when you're here. We love when you're here. And of course, Gord is number 1 again. Between Gord and Steve Page, you have a race on who's going to be on the show first. And Josh Voyajakis. Hey, Josh. Hello, everyone. You know, before I left the house today, I was going to say to Josh, come on, be on the show with us tonight. But I didn't. But I didn't, so he's not here. Michelle, good evening, Mike, Brad, and everyone.
Terry Thiessen's here from Southern Alberta. Hi, Terry, as well as Patricia Lukey from Cornwall.
And Mike's got to move it down so we can see what's going on.
That's right.
Oh, and there's Debbie and Brenda.
Al's here.
Al Bueller. Can't forget Al Bueller. The shirtless Al Bueller. Summer's coming. He takes off the
shirtless,
shirt.
Yeah.
He's the shirtless carpenter.
When he hits 0, he takes his shirt off. Get him booked, ladies. Get him booked for your summer.
And he was in my yard working one day, and I go, Al, put your shirt on. Jeez. Either that or put a bra on, Al.
He looked back at you from across the yard and yelled, Mike, put your pants on.
Al, put your shirt on or put a bra on. One of the two.
You two guys got to quit hanging out.
Mary Lou, good evening, Mike and Brad. Fellas, Kathy, tickle, 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 tickle.
Don't try to tickle me. Get away from me.
Christine from Oakbank. I just joined the Oakbank chat.
With the Oakbank chat?
Yeah. Oh. See what's going on in Oakbank.
I thought you were going to say the Oakbank Illuminati.
More messages. We had a good show on tonight. Sherry's on the show. We are going to give away more products tonight.
Canada Nano Silver, Kevin and Anna, ready to go.
They're giving us Silver Biotics tonight. Silver supplement. That's what we're giving away tonight.
That's like one of their top-selling items.
Is it?
It's the biggest item that they sell. It's
473 milligrams.
It's fantastic. You only need a little bit, but it's going to help you in a lot of different ways.
You know what? I had some of the cream that they had one time.
You tried some of that, yeah.
Yeah, and I had a sore knee. And then I placed it on my knee, and then, believe it or not, it was fine after doing it a couple of times. So, yeah, pretty cool. And something, before I got here tonight, I sat with Mardina and Dave. They're the new owners of the Cork and Flame. That's right. I've sold the Cork and Flame, and I'm happy that these two are taking it over. Mardina is going to be the boss man there, and taking care of things. So they're going to keep everything the same. Kerry Access pictures are going to stay in the wall. The menus are going to stay the same. The staff are going to stay the same. And these people are in the entertainment business. This is what they do. They own a couple of restaurants, a couple of hotels, and including the Palomino Club. So it's going to be great. They're moving. Anyways, we had an argument tonight about who has the better burgers, the Cork and Flame,
or
their restaurants.
Oh, and who won?
Well, the Cork and Flame, of course. by
Yeah.
a long shot.
They picked that, or you had to?
No, Mardina said, the Cork's burgers are way, way better. So, yeah, I agree. And you know what? Here's something that's going to happen. It's going to be new on the show, too. What they're doing is, Mary says, are they Greek? Well, no. Not everyone in the restaurant business is Greek. Just a variety of almost everyone.
Not everybody can be perfect, eh, Mike?
Not everyone can be a perfect Greek. So, yeah, the Greek will be missing, but I'll stop by once in a while, and then there'll be some Greek in the restaurant. Anyways,
There'll be a lot of Greek in the restaurant.
what they're going to be doing is, starting when they take it over, which is on the 21st, after that, we're going to be giving away Cork and Flame food gift certificates. So you'll be able to
on the show?
On the show, we're going to give away meals to the
Wow.
Cork and Flame, which is a great idea, especially with summer coming, that you can go sit out in the patio and enjoy.
Prime rib dinner at the Cork, man. If you're giving that away, I'm in.
Prime
Yummy.
rib. Awesome.
yummy.
I had a burger today. Too bad I couldn't show a picture of it. It was Santi just made a fresh burger. He's the chef there. So a lot of people I want to thank at the Cork and Flame who watched the show. And Ladine is one of them who's been running the restaurant for me for a long, long time and taking care of things and making it a little easier for me. So Ladine, thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done, including all the other staff there. Santi, the head chef, and Doug. Rocky's girlfriend's name was...
Bullwinkle.
No, she-
Natasha.
No.
No. That was the other one.
What he's Roxy in the movie would call
Roxy, what are you talking about?
Rocky, the movie Rocky.
Rocky Balboa?
What would he call his wife who died?
Adrian!
Adrian is my day manager at the restaurant, so thank you to her
I
too.
think of Rocky and Bullwinkle. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And you know what? Someone else I need to thank right now too is if it wouldn't be possible for me to run the Cork and Flame and the funeral home at the same time. So I want to thank Jenny, who's taken care of the funeral home for me for a whole year and some odd time now, doing a great job. Her and Mike McIver, my son Josh, and now we have Brittany. Great team and a bunch of other people. But thank you to everyone who helped me get through this. Carrie Axe's death was hard enough to deal with. Taking on a funeral home and a restaurant was even harder. But
I was there too.
oh, and Brad was there. Where were you there? You were just there eating.
No, I was part of your staff at the funeral home. What are you talking about?
Brad
Having
too.
fun
Yeah,
there, man. Like,
he helps at the funeral home now. I totally forgot that.
now I've been doing it for like 7 months.
He's the guy who was crying in the corner.
Yeah, I'm out now. I'm gonna leave.
That's funny. We're going to go into some videos. Come back.
We are?
Great show in. We're going to talk about the Toronto Public Health.
Let's do that first.
Can you believe that 10,000 students behind on mandatory vaccines are not allowed in schools? What the
Well,
heck?
they're guesstimating that that's the number is 10,000. What actually happened here on the 9th is still questionable. Today was the day. Again, the reports will be out tomorrow. We'll see a little bit more of that tomorrow, the next day as well. I think we're going to really start to see, like they have a law, a bylaw in Ontario that mandates these kids to have to be vaccinated to go to school with proper vaccinations, meaning the childhood vaccinations, the measles, mumps, chickenpox, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, all that stuff, right?
Right.
Polio. But this is where they're treading on grounds where I think, 10,000 students without proper vaccination. That's a lot of kids missing school, Mike.
You know what? They gotta get off that. We can pull that off the screen now. But they got to get off of that. That's crazy. This vaccine thing has been proven to be wrong. They've violated so many people's rights. They've taken away so much from so many people, and enough's enough. We cannot put up with this again. And hopefully, the people in Toronto go to the streets and listen. If we don't stand up for ourselves,
Ford guy, right?
if we don't stand up for ourselves,
Premier.
nobody's going to. And that brings me into the next topic, and that brings me into the next topic, and that's the election coming up. This is probably the most important election that Canada is ever going to face in its history. And Canada's been through a lot, and I'm a proud Canadian. But this election means something. So you need to get out of your chairs, and you make sure you go and vote. This is something that's so important to get out and vote on this election. And if you don't, you have no reason to complain when Canada comes crashing down. And we saw what happened a little while ago, how high gas prices were, how high groceries were, and they've taken the carbon tax away temporarily. And of course, that's just a scam to get you to vote for Carney. But here are some of the reasons why I'm not voting for Mark Carney. And this is something that's really true. Oh, look at that. Back to the thing. Hey, can you work that thing there so we can go through some of the reasons?
Yes.
There we go. Brad's somewhere else looking at something.
Well, I'm
else.
trying to get your videos ready for the next round here.
Do you want-
They're going to start up now, and that's not good either.
No.
It's just trying to go on me here, but we'll get
Here,
that fixed
here,
up.
give me that, and I'll just go
I got
through
this.
the,
I got it right here.
Okay.
Okay, so some of the reasons you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, I
So-
just want to say, I mean, if you don't know much about Carney, you need to do your research. And he stands for everything that I don't stand for. You need to know that he has global ties to the World Economic Forum. Carnegie is deeply connected with the World Economic Forum, which is pushing global agendas, like the Great Reset, for example. These policies may sound good on paper, but in reality, it's completely the opposite. So don't fall for, Mr. Nice Guy, and he's coming out strong. And if you can,
Yep.
see what the media is doing, they're pushing him, making him look like he's the powerful guy. Don't forget, as Trudeau was destroying the world, he was by his side by side, telling him what to do. As a matter of fact, he's some of the reasons people got their bank accounts seized. So
He is absolutely
he's
100%, Mike.
he's out and out of touch elitist. Let's face it, Carney's resume looks great at cocktail parties, but in all reality, it's the opposite. Brad, you got to keep moving.
There's
that
a
because
lot of
you're
trouble there.
walking it there for me.
I'm going.
Just look at your grocery bill, heating costs. He's never run a small business, never swung a hammer. He's just not a guy who's in the real world. He's living in a bubble.
I don't think he's even made
Trudeau.
rent.
I don't think he's paying rent in. He's just living in a bubble.
He has trouble paying taxes because he's got all of his money offshore.
Yeah,
Other
exactly.
countries.
Exactly, and
Same failed climate agenda.
exactly. That's a big thing. The climate agenda is something they've been pushing. The carbon taxes, like I said, they've taken away that temporarily, and you see the money you're saving at the gas pumps right now.
Well, we're supposed to be saving money at the gas pumps. This price should have been in effect the whole way along. It should be about 80 cents, 85 cents.
Yeah, it's crazy what's happened. So there's so many reasons why not to vote for Mark Carney, and you just really need to do your research. You could go on my Facebook page at Mike Wojciechowski on Facebook and just read the 8 points that I put down. They're very, very powerful points on why he protects big banks. He doesn't protect the little guys, our bank accounts. Financial stability is all over the place when Mark Carney's in there. He bailed out all the big banks. And he left a lot of people alone. Yet, what kills me is people that went out and protested for freedom got arrested. They got their bank accounts seized. This is the Liberal plan. How can we allow the Liberal Party to do what they've did? We were out protesting while they had horses trampling over Canadians.
Yep.
And Canadians sat back and watched this happen.
Hey, from grocery prices to gas prices to unaffordable housing, the balloon of the national debt is gigantic, isn't it?
Yeah. And Carney was behind the wall the whole time as Trudeau was in power. And you can see Trudeau and Carney hugging each other and, hey, good luck, buddy. I'm going to
He's not going to be the solution. He's not the solution, is
No,
he?
he's not the solution. He's the problem. So
Does he have any real political experience?
he has no political experience. As a matter of fact, every bank he's dealt with has tossed him out.
He's never faced voters then.
Never faced voters.
Has he ever had to earn the community's trust?
Has he?
I don't think so.
I don't think
he
so
tried
either.
in London, but he blew things in London.
And the biggest thing is this guy is,
What, a technocrat?
yeah, but he's a World Economic Forum.
Patsy.
Exactly.
Puppet.
He's a puppet. He's a puppet that stands for the World Economic Forum. He proudly talks about the World Economic Forum, and the World Economic Forum is the disaster that we're to face in Canada if we do anything that they tell us to do. And everything they're doing to us is actually on their website prior to. We've already seen what happens when you elect somebody because of their looks. Not that he has
Justin.
looks.
Well, he's got connections too, right?
Freedom fighters need to stand together and bring your friends in with this, because a lot of people now know that somewhere down the line they say, man, maybe I shouldn't have got vaccinated. I got forced because I wanted to get on an airplane. I wanted to go on holidays. I didn't want to lose my job. I think if they would have let people have choice, freedom of speech, freedom of choice, there would have been a different ballgame.
You know why 100 million people love Trump so much is because he's got that one word,
Yeah, he's got grit.
That's right.
Absolutely.
He's got grit.
You know, it's funny how something else that kind of bothers me a lot is so where everyone is attacking Tesla. So what has Elon Musk done to the world other than saving the states billions and billions and billions of dollars? And I wish somebody like Elon Musk would come to Canada and go through Trudeau's books and save taxpayers like you billions and billions and billions of dollars,
Yep.
and then show everybody what's really happening behind the scenes.
Carney's like Trudeau 2.0, but in a nicer suit, I think you said in your one pitch there, eh?
Well, their policies are destroying Canada. There's no doubt about it.
And liberal, soft on crime policies, right? So there's trouble there. I mean, that's something you're fighting for on a daily basis, aren't you, Mike?
Yeah, and you know what? They've caused this, the crime that we're having, the outbreak of crime, the break and enters, the murders, the everything that's happening on the streets. People walking around with sawed-off shotguns, like you're going to see. It's the Trudeau government that's soft on crime, soft on bail. Oh, let's allow them out in the streets. We don't have enough jails. Well, let's build bigger jails. And the biggest thing is, you know, people are afraid to take public transit. The other day I said a 21-year-old kid gets stabbed right here in Winnipeg on the bus.
Yep.
So
Multiple times.
on a bus on transit. So are we afraid to get on transit buses? Of course we are. The average elderly person.
There was a court case. Kid was stabbed 100 times here in Winnipeg. They released him, right?
Yep.
And he lived, but the guy that did the stabbing, or the gang that did the stabbing, was just so they could get in the gang. They had to stab him 100 times.
Is that crazy?
And now he walked.
And
He
that's
walked.
what's happening
Time
with a lot of
served.
people. They're walking, and you know, this is because of the Liberal government. So you know what? I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We're kind of done with it, but I'm just letting you know that if you don't want drugs in our streets, if you don't want the high crime crisis that we have, if you want mental health to be taken care of, don't vote for the Liberal government. It's almost like they're doing this on purpose to cause chaos on our streets, disasters, so they could come across with a new world economic plan.
Liberals continue to hand out drugs. They call it compassion. There's no compassion in that. That is not helping anyone in the process.
You know what? I'm a pretty compassionate guy, and I've never handed out drugs or
Look, I'm not.
enabled somebody who's
I want to
addicted.
say something because I don't think I'm not against handing out the drugs. Look, you can't just quit cold turkey. They need help that way, but it's making that first step to do the right thing to help them is what's needed. Not just hand them the drugs and then say, "Well, let us know if you want help."
Well, I'm going to disagree with you now. And I'm against drugs, and I don't think they should be giving them to people. And that's not the way to help somebody by giving them drugs.
All under controlled circumstances. I'm not talking about in the
I don't
back
even-
alley, man.
I don't even think under control. You know what? Take these people in and help them.
What do you got to help them with withdrawal?
Help them with
What do you
withdrawal.
got? What do you got to help them
Get
with
them-
withdrawal?
you gotta
There's
get-
nothing there except more drugs. They got to
gotta-
be on the drugs and wean off. It doesn't just
When-
quit a cold
when
turkey.
they're in a room-
That's really hard on a person.
Listen, bro, when you're in jail, they don't give you drugs to stay in jail. Hey, man, here, get high. You're going to be in jail for them. No, you're behind.
No, you're going to go crazy.
Well, that's what they need to do. They need to work their way into.
I
knowing
don't
that
think
drugs
that, I
is
don't
not
think
the
that's
answer.
the compassion. No, I don't think that's compassion.
Well, I'm not compassionate when it comes to drugs. I see, unlike you, Brad, I see thousands of kids that come into the funeral home every year.
Oh, I've lived in the city with the
Who
safe
are-
consumption sites. I've seen it all. I've been the guy putting the video camera in
But
the
Brad,
back windows
I'm
and getting the
talking about-
people down the back alleys and everything else, man. I've seen it
I'm
all.
talking about a mortician who actually not only sees, feels, and deals with the families, does have lost people to cocaine and meth and other drugs. So, you know what? That's one I don't think you're going to win on me because I'm really, really firm on get the drugs off of our streets. Don't put my kid, like if my kid's high on drugs, don't give him more drugs, please. That's the last thing I want. Let's go to our first video and get back with the show.
I wanted you to make that clear. I wanted people to hear you say that exact thing.
Well,
Because you know what? That sets up a great preliminary to where you're headed in your future.
yeah,
And
exactly.
it shows that you're not going to waver on that topic. You're not going to budge. You're not going to be misled or
No.
misleading to anyone else.
If I'm going to be a leader of a city in any way possible, I'm going to stand behind my guns, and you're not going to move me. You're not going to budge me. I'm going to stand for what's right for the public, for you and your families, for your children, and for your elderly parents all at once. It's just unfair what's going on in the city, and things need to be done.
I just helped you. That's all. Conflict is a good thing sometimes.
It is.
All right, let's take a look at this next video. Here we go.
The funeral burial gone terribly wrong. A grieving family is speaking out today after pallbearers fell into the grave while carrying the casket of their loved one in North Philadelphia.
The platform above the burial site collapsed right from under their feet. Action News reporter Chad Pradelli joins us now live from North Philadelphia with further details. Chad.
Yeah, this scary incident happened Friday here at Greenmount Cemetery. The family wants to know why it happened, whether it could have been prevented, and they also want an apology, and it was all captured on video.
Short steps.
The pallbearers carried Benjamin Aviles to his final resting spot. As they began to lay down the casket, the platform above the burial site collapses, sending the men plunging into the burial hole.
It was just a horrible incident that happened in a bad moment.
Aviles' stepdaughter, Maribel Rodriguez, says the men who fell into the hole all suffered injuries, mostly to their legs, hands, and back. Aviles' son suffered the worst of it.
The casket laid on top of him and he was out like a light. His face was in the mud.
She and her family blame Greenmount Cemetery and the Rodriguez Funeral Home for what she calls subpar conditions for a burial. Maribel Rodriguez says no relation to the funeral home.
The whole thing was trembling. It was like wobbly. It was unstable. It was all wet and soaked.
Both the funeral home and cemetery had no comment to Action News. Today, some boards and broken wood can be seen at the burial plot, but Aviles is finally laid to rest.
I think that they should apologize. I think that there should be some reimbursement involved, being that the ceremony was interrupted. Nothing was done properly.
And the family tells me none of the injuries is considered serious and all are expected to be okay. Live in North Philadelphia, Chad Pradelli, Channel 6, Action News.
Got to ask yourself, Mike, why was the hole so big? Why did they make it so wide?
Heartbreaking. Can you imagine? There was actually family members. His son was under the casket.
I've never seen a hole that wide before.
I don't know why it was that wide. Maybe they just dig the hole different there. But I got to share a story with you. As terrifying as this was, and yes, the family does need some reimbursement for what happened. That's something they're going to go to sleep with and remember for the rest of their lives. Terrifying just to see that. Lucky there was no injuries. But I was in Sandylands one time. We were doing a burial way back in Sandylands. It was my first burial in an area that was really sand for what there was there. And we were walking with the casket. 6 pallbearers were walking with the casket, and that's exactly what happened. The sand started to cave in, and the guys were going down, but they let go of the casket, and they both, on both sides, 6 guys ran in different directions, and I was in front, and the casket just lay there, and it basically went down by itself. It, like quicksand, sucked the casket down and did a self-burial. But lucky the pallbearers got out of the way, because it was a little bit wet, sandy, and it happened. So I kind of experienced something like that. And it was terrifying for the family to watch the casket get dropped, pallbearers run, and then the casket to get sucked down. And that happened in Sandylands right here in Manitoba. So I experienced the exact same thing. Crazy, eh?
Can happen.
Whole bunch of comments tonight. The comment section is on fire. Hey, don't forget, share, follow, like this show. The comment section is the best part about the show, how people go back and forth talking to each other and showing each other love and disagreeing sometimes. But either way, it's great to have the comment section on fire. But we need to get the show bigger and better. There's a lot of people that buy followers. I don't do that.
They do buy followers.
So I can have 50,000 followers tomorrow morning if I want. All I have to do is pay for it. Or 100,000 followers. I don't do that. Our show is a real show.
Yeah, with real
followers and real
numbers.
comments.
Yeah, real numbers.
And it's not as large as other shows.
Well, it's not as fictitious as other shows' numbers.
But you know what? I mean, our show's true numbers, real people. As you can tell, Brad and I go at it once in a while, which is good. But it's all for you, the people that watch the show. And don't forget, there's 5 different platforms that you can watch Ask the Funeral Director.
Hey, we got to get Dr. Daniel back on. Speaking of going at it with
we
people.
got to get Dr. Daniel. Oh, by the way,
he's different now.
To Dr. Daniel and
He's
his
changed.
wife, Robin, congratulations. They just had a baby,
Hey, right
little
on.
boy. Woo!
Right on.
I
Congrats.
call him Rocky. They call him Rockland. But you know what? Daniel would be good to have on the show now. So now that he has children, and as a doctor, he'll tell you what he feels about COVID, vaccines, and all that kind of stuff. So yes, I will bring him on the show.
Good.
And it'll be the Daniel that you like this time.
I liked him last time. We just had a little bit of
Oh,
discrepancies.
man. The real show, Death and Taxes, something that doesn't go away. We're going to go into this next video, and this is all about the catch and release program. You got to watch this. This will send shivers up your spine. Mary Lou says, "No, Dr. Daniel."
Mary Lou, it'll be fine. Trust me.
This next video, you got to watch, and I got to admit, the one night, no, I'm not even going to say it. Just watch this video. It'll send shivers up your body.
Farmers near Portage La Prairie are shaken up and looking for answers. They say crime in rural Manitoba is out of control and getting worse. It comes after a number of farms were robbed by armed suspects over the weekend and have many fearing for safety. For more, we're joined by the CBC's Ian Fraze live in the newsroom. So, Ian, this came up during question period. What do we know so far?
Well, farmers west of Portage La Prairie in the McGregor area say they're shocked at how brazen this crime is. Now, as you are about to see in the footage we're about to show you, people are seen wearing masks, one of them appearing to carry a firearm. Now, this is security footage from one farm. Police say that 3 farms were ultimately broken into. We don't know yet if the footage that we're seeing here is confirmed to be one of the farms that police are investigating, but that investigation continues. Police saying that a truck, ATV, and power tools were all taken. So far, 1 person has been arrested. Now, the farmer whose property we see in this video did not want to be interviewed, but his cousin Mark Klippenstein says one of the suspects was training a gun on the garage.
People don't usually run around with brandishing weapons. But yeah, it was very concerning. It didn't look real. Like, it looked like out of a movie or like South Africa or something like that.
It's gut-wrenching to see people unload out of a vehicle in a farmyard with assault rifles and get positioned as though they're not just there to take material items, but they're there to fight a much bigger battle if that's the case.
That's PCMLA Jody Byram. She says the NDP government needs to do more to address this crime and spend more time worrying about the crime that happens outside the perimeter.
So, Ian, in other crime news, safety concerns are being flagged once again in Thompson's Hospital. What happened this time?
Well, a nurse says there is constant abuse. There's fights involving violent patients that are breaking out, and their bosses haven't responded to any.
All right, there you go. Patients breaking out, violent, everything, man. This is just a weird province.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Ever since my brother's murder, I've been out there talking about this, and nothing's happening in return. So what we want to do is we want to have a huge rally in Manitoba. Other provinces have rallies that are massive, like thousands of people. We need to get out to the streets and have a peaceful rally and let the government know that we've had enough. Listen, crime is completely out of control. Businesses being robbed every day. Like, think about that. Somebody pulling up to your house, 3 guys jumping out with guns.
That was 5 guys.
But I'm just saying, and you can't even you can't even protect yourself. Under these laws, if they break into your house, you can't even shoot one of them.
You can't?
It's crazy what's happening.
Who says?
Can you believe this is Canada? And
Mike, you try to come and kill me, guess what's going to happen to you?
You know what? When I grew up on Toronto Street between Sargent and Ellis, right in downtown Winnipeg. That's where I grew up. And you know, it was a beautiful neighborhood, and we played ball hockey to the late hours of the night. And now when you drive by there, it looks like a war-torn neighborhood. I mean, houses boarded up, nobody walking around, garbage everywhere. Wow, it's changed so much. The citizens of Manitoba need to stand up for their rights and say enough's enough. We need to go to the streets. We need to know, let the people in power know that we're not going to take this anymore. If we shut up and say nothing, what are we doing for our grandkids and our kids? We're letting them walk into war zones where people are getting stabbed and shot, and it's okay because there's no consequences for the crimes that you commit today. You know what? I'm frustrated because I'm dealing with the medical examiner's office, I'm dealing with the police, and I'm dealing with the Crown Attorney. And it's been a year. My mom says, "Mike, stop barking. Mike, stop barking. Stop barking, Mike." I go, "Mom, when a dog's vicious, it barks because it wants action." And what they're doing to us is completely wrong. Kyriakis died January 24th, 2024. We still have not got the autopsy report or the coroner's report. And it's an excuse. Every step of it's an excuse. Oh, well, the Crown Attorney doesn't want to release it yet because there may be more charges. Well, you've had a year to charge the guy. Go and charge him with second-degree murder. Do what you got to do. But you better not be soft on crime with this guy who killed my brother, because you haven't heard the end of Mike Voyagakis.
Correct. And we're going to get out. We're going to get that done. And people are going to show up this time that is going to create momentum.
I think we're going to do
And
it
we
on the
need
26th.
momentum.
We're going to do it on the May 26th, which is a Saturday.
It's after the long weekend.
Yeah, no excuse.
After the May long weekend.
No excuse. You could come out and join us. We're probably going to do it sometime, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. We're going to announce more. The Winnipeg Sun will announce. We'll get something in the Winnipeg Free Press also. And you'll be hearing lots about it. But when we share this on Facebook, where it's going to be, please share it 1,000,000 times over so people will come out this time.
We're going to make sure we provide an email where you can get in touch with Mike.
Yeah.
You'll be able to contact Mike directly with your stories, with your ability to communicate your message to the public when we're doing this rally, so that you're heard, your message is heard, so that we can together make change.
And you know what? If 1 or 2 or 100K. So somebody in the city told us, you remember once, it's the same old 50 people that show up.
Yeah.
Did
I
he even
remember
say
that.
50?
Nah,
The same old 30 people show up to all your rallies, Mike, so don't bother doing it. And he was right up to a point, because if the people in power are watching, the new prime minister, premiers, and they see that nobody shows up to these rallies, then they think no one cares.
Well, you've had some great meetings with a couple of local MPs, members of parliament, who have been on your side, basically, giving you the support that you need from a political side of things too.
100%.
And I'm not going to mention names right now, but I know that she's a very outspoken individual, and I think she brings something to the table too when it really comes down to that day on the 26th, is it?
Yep, 26.
All right.
Let's go to this next video, because Ask the Funeral Director is coming up shortly here. Another question I have, if you could give us your opinion, it really matters to me. So we're trying to see what direction to take the show in. So do you like these news stories at the beginning of the show, or would you rather see an hour of Ask the Funeral Director questions, answers just related to funeral service? Your opinion matters. If you could tell us if you like the show the way it is, or what you'd like to see and what you wouldn't want to see. That gives us a plan, a vision, your vision, who are watching the show. Here's our next video. This is again.
And how are we doing that? Breaking news with you. I found out a few hours ago something that very exciting. Last year, some of us submitted a vaccine injury paper to The Lancet, to one of the biggest journals in the world, co-authored by Dr. Peter McCullough, myself, Dr. Mark Chilsey, Dr. Roger Hodkinson, and other doctors. That paper was about autopsy series, the largest autopsy series in the world of COVID vaccine, people who took COVID-19 vaccines and then died suddenly a few days or a few weeks after. That paper was downloaded hundreds of thousands of times, and within 24 hours, there was so much pressure put on by the pharmaceutical industry that The Lancet took the paper down, canceled it, and basically wanted to cancel it forever so that it would never see the light of day. I just found out a few hours ago that that paper has passed peer-reviewed and is going to be published. Breaking news with you. I found out a few hours ago something that...
About time, buddy. About time. That peer paper is going to definitely set things in motion that hopefully provides some accountability as we move forward. That's another big part of this too, right, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm looking at some of the comments here, and what is that, Brad?
That's a beaver. That's a beaver. You don't like the beaver? It's a Canadian beaver. What?
Anybody ever
We
leave
talk
it to
about all
beaver?
kinds of things on this show, and there's a Canadian beaver
man.
for everybody that likes Canadian beaver.
So this is what I wanted to see, and it's really important because some people say to me, well, I don't like the videos at the beginning and blah, blah, blah. It's off topic. It's Ask the Funeral Director. But I like what I'm seeing on the screen now, that the combination of both works, and that's what we're going to continue doing.
You know
Sharon,
what?
Sharon just texted me. I wonder what her opinion is. Let me see here. I like the way it is with updates about what's going on in the world. And then, well, if your wife tells you it's okay, I guess it's okay.
Yeah, you
Hey,
know.
Mama, what do you think?
Hey, I got to be honest with you. I think we're in a bit of a jam here at the moment.
Why?
Because you forgot something earlier.
What did I forget? The beaver? No, I taught. Oh, the numbers. Jeez.
Hey, I was right. Hey, bada boom, bada bing. Hey.
Rod is right. Hey, wins the war tonight. So we're going to pick a number. We're going to do this quickly. Let's just go 1 to 30. Make it easy. 1 to 30. Yay, Sharon. Give us a number 1 to 30 really quick.
You haven't even written the number down.
I got the number. Look.
Oh, okay, there it is.
1 to 30. Here we go. Starting now. 1 to 30, and you win the Silver Biotics Canada
no numbers.
Silver.
There's
1
no
to 30.
number. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Lulu!
got it. Lulu's got it. Oh!
Lulu's our winner.
Right
Oh,
off the top.
Lulu.
So, Lulu, you got to pick up the prize, Lulu, from
Picture of a
the
Canadian beaver just for you,
from
Lulu.
the Voyage of Funeral Home, Lulu.
All right, come down to Voyage. We'll
Voyage
get that
at
set up.
Henderson and Hespler. You can pick this up, Lulu, and we might even have a beaver there for you.
No, you won't.
So thanks to Kevin and Anna from Canada Nano Silver for providing all these great gifts. Remember, the Cork and Flame is going to be providing free food every show. Not for you and I either.
What?
It's going to be for the people, Brad. Jeez. What's the matter with you? So I want to tell you why I picked 19, the number 19. Kyriak's birthday, my brother, his birthday would have been on the 19th of April. Love you, brother. Miss you so much. The three brothers miss you, and Mom misses you, and everybody misses you. And you kind of wonder sometimes if your loved ones in heaven can look down at you and see what you're doing. And I know Kyriakis would be proud that the Cork and Flame is still open and running, and his dream is still alive. And that means so much to me in my heart that I was able to do that for my brother for 1 year, which is great. Anyways, let's get on to our first question of Ask the Funeral Director.
Question number 1 tonight. My husband passed away this week. Sorry to hear that. He did not have a will. It seems like everyone is trying to take something now. How can I stop them from taking what I feel is mine? Carrie wants to know.
Oh, Carrie. That's something that happens all the time. It's terrible. You lose a loved one, and then people come in from everywhere trying to take your assets, walking into your house and taking personal effects that are not there. So, Carrie, you're the legal next of kin, being his wife, so you legally don't have to give anything to anyone. That's why it's important to have a will. A will, again, is the most important thing you could ever have. It's the most important piece of paper you can have while you're alive that stands for you when you're dead. And if you would have had a will, this would have made things really easy. Remember, voyagefuneralhomes.com. No excuse. The wills are absolutely free. Get one online. It's a complete will package, 5-in-1 will kit. And what do you do so people don't take your assets? You just have to say no. No, you can't come in. No, I'm not ready. People need to realize that you just lost a loved one and you need time. And you tell people, I need time. I don't want anything taken from my yard. I don't want anything taken from my house. A smart thing to do is to, for example, if there's vehicles in your yard, snowmobiles, motorcycles, any of that kind of stuff, trailers, go to MPI and get it transferred over to your name right away and put storage insurance on it. So if they take something, it'll be considered theft. And that's sometimes a mean thing to do, but it's sometimes something that you got to do to protect your assets. And the number one thing that happens after death, and I'm going to be really frank with you about this, or really Mike with you about it, is greed. So when you lose a loved one, the number one thing happens, and I'm sure the comment line will be on fire. Greed is the number one thing that happens. What does that mean? People come in and take things and want things and demand things that you're not ready to give away. They belong to you. Greed happens right in the arrangement office when they're fighting about the money a loved one had. Who's going to get the house? Who's going to get the cars? Who's going to get the rings? This should be about love. Loving each other, caring for each other, and helping each other through a death as a family. Not taking and being greedy. Number one thing I see in funeral service is people phoning in who don't have a right to get a death certificate, and that happened today, by the way, phoning in and say, I want my dad's death certificate. And the first thing we say is, are you the executor? No, but I'm his son and I deserve that death certificate. Well, they want a death certificate because they want to get into bank accounts, or they want to get an insurance policy, or they want to do something. Protect your family and their assets. Get a will, put it in place, and this way you are protected. Protect your assets, and just know that there's a time in your life when you have to say, I'm not ready. Please leave me alone. When I'm ready, we'll sit and deal with this.
Absolutely. You know, I wanted to mention this because Lulu got the great supplements here from Canada
Lulu.
From Canada NanoSober. They're also going to be up in Yorkton this weekend at the Spring Expo on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can stop in and see Kevin and Anna.
You mean Kevin's on the show tonight? I haven't seen Kevin on the show forever.
Kevin's here. He's watching.
He's usually on another show.
Well, sometimes he is. Sometimes he's here.
Kevin, it's good to have you on the show. Yeah, if he's in Yorkton, stop by Yorkton and say hi to them.
Absolutely.
Kevin's a good guy. So is Anna.
You got friends or family in Yorkton, make sure you give them a call. Tell them to go see him because I tell you what, they could use some of this. This stuff is like magic gold.
Maybe Kevin could have gave us something to give away in Yorkton, and people would have went to the show to pick it up.
Well, next time we
Just
can
saying.
do it. Is there anybody online right now with us on the show that's from Yorkton? If there is, hey, say hello to us.
Yeah, and then maybe we could give away. We got more stuff we can give away.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
see John McMorrin is saying thanks to Kevin right now for the gifts that he won on the program.
Yeah.
From weeks ago, right?
Awesome.
Okay, how long does a funeral home have to legally register the death with vital statistics? You got to register your death with vital statistics? The government wants to know about me?
Anna, what a great question. So you do have to register a death with vital statistics. So what happens is once a funeral home takes your loved one into our care from a care home, a hospital, the place of death, we have 48 hours from the time we pick them up from the place of death to register the death with vital statistics. The way it works is the medical examiner sends his sheet in, the cause of death. The funeral home sends their sheet in, the registration of death. And they get there together within 48 hours. And in 48 hours, the death gets registered. It goes into the computer saying that this person is now deceased. So that's how it works with that. You have to register the death. So if you think you live for free, you're absolutely wrong. You have to register your death. If you want to take it back there for a minute, Brad, and give me the next question, I can have a sip of my...
The next
drink.
question is going to be something like this. So I watched a video of when they transferred a coffin from a grave into another one. When they pulled it out of water, it kept coming out of the corner of the coffin. It seemed the coffin really filled up with water, and you're buried. So what's going on with all this water in the coffin? Like, why would you bury somebody if it's all wet?
Well, April, that's who answered that question. So
Ask the question.
Ask the question.
If she's answering, we really got problems.
Brad, what's wrong with you? You getting me all mixed up tonight, eh? So, you know, it's a true scenario. When you place a casket in the ground, a lot of times when we get, like, for example, if we do burials right now, at this time of the year, when we're going to the cemeteries, the graves are loaded with water. I know you don't want to hear that, but that's the reality of what happens. Sometimes they're pumping out water as we actually get to the graveside so we can place the casket in there. So if you place a wood casket in the ground without a vault, more than likely there's going to be water in that casket in just a matter of minutes in most cemeteries. How do you avoid that? You buy metal caskets. Metal caskets have a sealer around them. So once you place the casket in the ground, there's a sealer that wraps around the casket, and it seals the casket shut. This way, no water gets in, no earth gets in, no dirt gets in. Natural decomposition takes place. So that's the difference between a metal casket and a wood casket. And if you did pull up a wood casket and it was a rainy day or the snow just finished melting, more than likely you're going to see exactly what you saw that was probably horrifying to see.
Wild.
And you probably wonder why people are getting buried less and less, because you think about those things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about
Mike, are you killing me with the Greek accent? Randolph says, huh? Maybe I do the whole show one day in the Greek accent.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
The Greek funeral director, huh?
How long does it take to complete mortuary school, John wants to know, because you've been to school, haven't you?
Well, guess what? You actually have to go to school to do what you're doing, to do what I do.
How long did you go for?
2 years. So it's It's 2 years.
Is that 2 years less a day in Headingley or what?
Going to mortuary school is 2 years less a day. So, anyways, what happens is you have 2 years of school to go through. So most of the things you do in school are an apprenticeship program. So you're working as an apprentice, watching the licensed guy work and learning off of him or her. And that's how you learn how to be a good mortician or a good funeral director, is just follow the leader sort of thing. And you learn from experience. And then you're in school quite often doing exams and tests and, anatomy, microbiology, sanitation, hygiene, embalming. The list goes on and on and on. It's a hard course. Believe it or not, when the course starts, let's just say there's 50 people in the class. By the end of the course, there's 10 people left. So it's a high dropout course because people don't realize. I'm reading Mary Sander, so I guess they'll have to wear a wetsuit. Oh my God, Mary Lou. Do you not have anything better to do? Come up with a concrete like that.
Concrete lined caskets. How about that?
Well, they have concrete liners that a casket goes into.
Oh, they do.
So most cemeteries, their minimum is that you put somebody in a concrete liner.
Oh, really?
Well, what happens to concrete? I tell people this all the time when people say, well, how long does concrete last? And I say, well, think about your concrete driveway or your sidewalk. How long does it last before it starts cracking?
One winter in Manitoba.
So, I mean, when you're talking about concrete
and the cracks settle.
And wood, you just got to, anything that happens outside is happening underground at the same time.
I got somebody here who says, let's see their name. Sharon says she is thinking about pre-planning, and she would like a simple earth burial with biodegradable casket. She'd also like to have a viewing. Is there an earth-friendly way of preparing a body for viewing?
Sharon, good question again. All these questions that come up that people ask all the time, but you never get a chance. If you have a question, by the way, askthefuneraldirector@gmail.com or leave it in the comment section, and I usually go through with it and bring it up on the next show. A lot of things you can ask about death and dying. So to answer this question, is there a friendly way of getting the body ready for a viewing? Yes. The friendly way is to not use embalming fluids, to do a natural viewing. So that's time sensitive. So what we could do is not embalm the body. We set the features, we wash, clean, disinfect the body, dress the person, and then we recommend no touching take place, no kissing, no holding hands, nothing like that. And then you get to do a natural viewing. So we do a lot of churches who don't want embalming, they just want natural viewing. The problem is you got to deal with things that happen when you don't embalm a body, like purge, for example. That's fluids coming out unexpectedly. So embalming does a lot of things that protects the body and protects you at the same time from seeing something that you just don't want to see. So we have biodegradable caskets that you could use, and now cemeteries are starting to do green burials. I know the city of Winnipeg cemeteries are starting with green burials. Transcona Cemetery, Brookside, and St. Vital Cemetery, they have a green burial section now. And I think more and more cemeteries will be doing that. The reason cemeteries don't want to do that is the money is not there. And when the money's not there, that means the business isn't there. So I think a lot of people are going to be doing green burials in the future because they're worried about the environment. So to answer your question, you could do...
That's like saying a dead body creates climate change.
No, yeah, but a dead body does create problems in the ground if you're using embalming fluids.
Oh, it does,
Think about the fluids that are going into the ground after.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on now. No. This is where I got to get technical.
You can't go everywhere. You're falling asleep. What are you saying? The show's boring?
Oh, we're going to liven it up right now. So you're telling me that you're worried about the embalming fluids and the person being
I'm not
in the
worried
ground.
about them.
Who is? The cemetery.
The environment people.
The environment people. What about what you do with the fluids coming out of the embalming process? Like, they're going down the drain, dude.
That's funny because, they worry about environmental things. They worry about what's happening in the ground, but they're not worried about what's coming out of you and me. Every day, no
who
matter
knows
when you sit down, do your business in the bathroom.
I don't care what's coming out of you every day either.
Yeah, I don't care what's coming out of you either. But every time you embalm a body, don't forget those fluids that we take out of the body, everything that comes out of the body goes into the system, and that's where it goes. Flush.
Can we get this all done in one day? I die. You take me right now. You cremate me right this second. Are we done within hours?
We do that.
An hour?
We do that quite a bit. So by the time we do a pickup from the hospital, you're looking at, an hour. By the time we get to the crematorium, another hour. By the time we do the cremation, another couple of hours. And then we bring the cremains back. Voila! Just like magic.
Done, eh?
Done.
That's good because I want it to go that fast when my time comes. And I can request that, can't I? In my
Yeah, you
pre-planning?
should request that.
All right.
I've given you.
I just have.
I've given you. You've done it live on.
Yeah, live and in person.
Oh
There
no!
we go.
Somebody's calling somebody on the show.
A what? I don't want to know.
Let's go to the next question.
Oh, I see that. Okay. Next question. Kevin says, can I bring cremated remains across the border, whether it's by air or ground? What's the policy?
So if you want to take cremated remains on an airplane, you need to get a letter of, so from us, we give you a letter of transportation. That letter of transportation allows you to bring the cremated remains past the border, and usually they're not inspected because you have the letter that's signed by a licensed funeral director saying we've been through those cremated remains. They're safe, and the same thing happens when you go, let's just say to Grand Forks, Florida, wherever, you're going by the Canadian borders, you got to cross a U.S. border, and they're going to want to see documentation because you're going to have to claim. I'm never going to forget when I came into I was in the States taking somebody in my care, and I pull up to the window, and they ask you those normal questions. And
You want fries with that?
she says, do you have anything illegal in your car? And then she'd go, do you have a gun? Have you bought anything? And I said, well, I have a dead body. And she starts laughing. No, I'm not kidding. Like I really have a dead person in the back of my van. And she looked at me like I was crazy. And I said to her, well, I'm a funeral director and I'm bringing somebody across from the States. And she says to me, well, what am I supposed to do with this? This is my first time running into this. Well, I said, legally, you're supposed to pull me over, open up the body bag, go through the body, make sure there's nothing illegal, and then let me go. She goes, see ya.
You're out of here, eh?
And I was
Quick
waiting
release.
for the RCMP to pull me over on the highway because I thought she's going to go tell one of her coworkers what she did, and then they're going to send the RCMP after me to check and see what I had in the back.
Yeah.
She didn't ask to see my license as a funeral director. She didn't ask for anything. She just said, see ya, you're
So
free
what
to
you're
go.
what you're saying here is when you get to the border with all those boxes of Pop-Tarts in the back, just say, I got a dead guy in the back, and you're going to get right on by.
Don't say that.
All right. We have no legal advice on this
Yeah,
show
no
whatsoever.
legal advice.
No banking advice or financial advice.
Well, look, Kevin just texted me from,
Yeah, he was saying that.
let me see, what he just
said
texted me
was
saying, Spring Expo. Oh, that's one you
He's
just
in
talked
Yorkton,
about.
yeah. He was just
Yeah.
giving you the details on Yorkton. Saturday,
No.
Sunday, Monday.
Friday,
No,
Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
noon
3
to
days.
7, 10 to 7, Sunday 10 to 4. Canada Nano Silver will be presenting 25 Nano Silver products. Cool.
Lots of
Anyway.
good stuff there.
Next question.
Next question, Sylvia.
John, what do you mean you're going to sleep? Everyone's going to sleep. Is this show boring tonight?
Wednesday night, time for bed.
Wow.
Okay, does a funeral home charge to place obituaries in the newspaper?
So the funeral home doesn't charge. Well, maybe some funeral homes do, but the local paper will charge you.
If they do that, are they scamming?
They're charging you big money to put an obituary in one of the local papers. They're charging big money, and if you put a photo in there, it's even more money. So funeral homes shouldn't be charging you to put the obituary in. That should be a complimentary service. The paper is charging you by the line. Really expensive. An alternative to not putting an obituary in the local paper is to put it on the funeral home website.
Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, we put it on our website, then
Everywhere.
you share it on
Yeah.
social media. You want to take that back for a minute?
Once you hit one friend, you're going to hit them all, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Genta, next question says, since COVID, what's changed on how you handle the body and the services, etc.? What's changed, Mike?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Because during COVID, we used universal precautions. We treated everybody as if it was infected with a communicable disease, not COVID, but just a disease. And every time we pick up or take your loved one into our care, we treat each body the same, using universal precautions, making sure that we treat everybody as if everybody's infected with something. And this way it keeps you safe. As far as services go, we've always been very flexible with services. Even during COVID, we allowed families to come in and say goodbye. We allow families to have funeral services. We kind of broke all the rules because I don't think I could play God in that situation where I could tell you, yeah, you can't come and see your mom and dad. sorry, you can't come and see your 6-year-old little boy that just passed away. I'm compassionate, I'm caring, and I don't think I have a right to take that final right away from you to view your loved one.
Kathy's got a great question. Kathy Bowman says, why do cemeteries never seem to fill up? There's no new cemeteries that I can think of in my area in my lifetime. Just something I've been wondering.
Yeah.
I've been wondering the same thing, Kathy. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Cemeteries.
Do they take the headstone down and rebury?
No, not in Manitoba. They don't do that. So once you buy that cemetery plot,
it's yours.
It's yours. You own it forever. But they have so much property when they open up a cemetery, acres and acres and acres of property. And then if they run out of property, they're buying more property in the area to increase the amount of burials they can do at their cemeteries. And the good thing about this is that what's happening now is a lot of people are getting cremated. So if you don't know this, you need to educate yourself today for peace of mind tomorrow. You could put up to 3 sets of cremated remains into a grave where a casket is without paying for the plot or the price of the burial area, just the opening and closing.
There's a lot more room than 3.
But
why only 3?
You're only allowed 3. When it comes down to it, it's all about
the do-re-mi.
It's all about the money. And if I don't get the money, I don't provide the service, you know?
Okay, since you're talking like that, how many people die a day in Canada?
900 and roughly about 900 and somewhat people die a day in Canada.
Every day?
Every day, right across Canada. So 900 people a day, think about that. That's a lot of deaths.
Anybody ask you to put away the blood clots that you're pulling out when you're doing the embalming and
Yes,
save
so
them for a different day?
We do have blood clots that we've put aside, and we have them in little jars, saving them for a rainy day. And we have marked on those jars which body they've come out of. And sometimes we'll talk to families, not that it's our business, but we'll say, hey, was your loved one vaccinated? Just curious. And they'll tell us, then we'll kind of know, where that blood clot came from. So can I do anything with this blood clot? No, but it's happening all the time. It's there.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Way,
Key word, right?
It's not my right to do anything.
19 states have gone after Dr. Fauci in the last week.
And you know what?
19 states are all going after him.
We need to go after, what was the doctor who
Dr.
was in charge?
Tam?
Dr. Tam? Who was it who was in charge? Tam?
Theresa Tam.
That he said Tam. Look at all these people leaving us. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. Come on, guys.
Oh, where you going? He ran out of beer.
Yeah, ran out of beer. I think all drinks and watches the show. Next question.
Key word, Linda says. All right, do you legally need to buy an urn for burial in...
Niches? And calabariums?
What is that? What's a niche and a calabarium?
So a niche is a little area in a cemetery where it's a wall.
That sounds racist. Just saying.
Rusin, that's who it was.
Rusin. Oh, yeah, that's cue ball.
Yeah, Rusin. You were wrong. Again.
No. Theresa Tam's the head of it all.
You were wrong.
In Canada.
I was wrong.
Canada.
You're right. That's what it was. Anyways, we said in Manitoba. Rusin.
Terrence Tam. Yeah, it was
Rusin's not even around anymore. Anyways, so Sharon has a question. She asked me this morning, actually.
Josh Reimer was the other one.
Do you have to could you place a cardboard container into the niches? That's the above ground burial spots, columbariums, niches. Instead of placing them in the ground, do you have to buy an urn? So legally, you don't have to buy an urn. You can place a cardboard container in there. But some cemeteries bypass the Cemetery Act and have their own legislation that says, it's mandatory to buy an urn to place it in there. But legally, you could use the cardboard container, and that's all you need to place cremated remains in a niche or columbarium. Hope that answers your question. Don't get scammed. This is what the true facts are.
So when a person is buried, does the pacemaker stay in their body? Anita wants to know.
So Anita, we never remove a pacemaker from the body. We only remove the pacemaker when the person is going to go through a cremation process, because the pacemaker will literally explode. In last week's show, I actually brought a pacemaker on the show.
You did.
To show people what it looked like. And so when we're burying somebody, a traditional burial, the pacemaker stays on. Even if we're embalming, we keep the pacemaker in.
Now, final question, if a body has been autopsied and the brain has been removed, do the morticians fill the cranium with something? George wants to know. You stuffing my skull?
So when they take the brain out, we don't put the brain back in the cranial cap.
Why not?
Take the cranial cap off, because the brain is put in a viscera bag with all the other organs, and it just goes in there, and we treat that separately. But we do
You,
kind
you,
of.
you pick that up and move it and touch it?
We do. We touch the Viscera bag and make sure that everything is.
I never go in that room, and I'll never go in that room. I'm just saying, I'll never go in that room. That's somebody else.
So we do in the inside where the brain is. What we do is we do stuff it with things like cloths, or we put cotton in there just to avoid any leakage. So when we put it on, we have a secure area, so you could do a viewing.
Leakage. Okay.
Leakage. Remember, if you have a question on Ask the Funeral Director, askthefuneraldirector@gmail.com, or leave it in the comment section. We love you guys. Thank you for watching the show. You are Ask the Funeral Director. We love your comments. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you and your families. Thank you, Brad, for another great show.
You too, Mike. Good night.
Good night. Don't forget to like, share, and follow.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.